put together those bid documents and then get a good estimate, so that way moving forward into the next fiscal year and so forward, we can actually budget that construction work to be taking place. We can do some televising ourselves, but the manner and the length and the pipes and the potential for us losing our equipment inside the landfill would just be better if we hired a contractor to come in and take care of it for us.
Madam Mayor.
Alderman Brashaw.
Thank you. I noticed that there's a breakdown in price here. The total is $18,700. It's a significant modification to the operating permit, and then part of it is the construction quality assurance. Now, does this actually apply then to the actual construction of that bypass, or do we have to apply for this part of that all over again?
So once IEPA accepts the significant modification, we would look to self-perform this work. It would just be a typical sanitary sewer install. We don't have the equipment that could dig down the 15 feet or the 16 feet that this would require. So we'd be looking to have Fisher come in with, or another construction company for that matter, to bring in an excavator to dig it, and then our guys would install the pipe.
Follow up. Do you have even a guesstimation of what something that this would cost? And I'm assuming our water sewer infrastructure fees would probably cover some of this? No?
This wouldn't fall into the water sewer. The landfill is separate from this.
We can't use any of that. I was just asking, so the water.
There are other funding mechanisms which Randy and I have been looking at, which we will present to council. There are many options. The TIF is one. It's under this area is under the Lamb Road TIF. There's some other general fund money that we can tap into that we're looking at as we go forward. But water and sewer infrastructure actually has to be paid towards water and sewer infrastructure, not towards this. So when you establish a landfill, you actually have to establish a maintenance fund, and that at one point was established within the city for a maintenance fund. So the city, I don't know, Joel, how many years ago, just made a decision to draw that fund down. And one time we had $5 million 10 years ago to draw that down.
And that's gone?
That's gone. What we're using now, the money to maintain the landfill, is the money we're receiving off the transfer station. And that's one of the discussions that we're having on the transfer station as we're going forward. But what we can do was, as I said, there are other multiple sources we can use for funding for do this. What we are doing basically by doing this repair and doing this is we're doing it before we're told to do it. Basically, IEPA is going to come down and tell us this is a requirement, and if we get a consent order, then that's a whole different ballgame. That's every mechanism that they use, they tell you how to do it, how it has to be done, the engineering cost, and it has to be approved with them. So what we're trying to do is avoid that as we go forward.
One more follow-up. Thank you for that explanation. One of the reasons I suspected maybe this could be tied to water sewer, because we were talking about manhole covers and the leachate escaping, and so I assumed maybe there's something we could do with the water sewer, and or when we talk about sewer cameras as well. There again, no guess on what this will cost. That was part of my first question.
If I could ask Joel to step up, he's probably got a pretty good idea what the cost.
So this is, Mr. Carr, Director Carr had said previously, this had already been approved previously by Illinois EPA as a significant modification. And at that time, we were estimating about $150,000 if we put it out to bid, roughly speaking. So that was back in 2012, so there'd be a little bit of escalation over time. But if the city is able to do some of this work itself, that would be some cost to the city. And then the construction observation, which is the quality assurance that we're talking about in here, would simply be us documenting all that work for the final submittal to Illinois EPA for their blessing and final approval of the work that's done.
So we're funding part of that up front with the proposed fees here.
Correct, I'm sorry, I'm fighting a cold. So the significant modification, the good news is the engineering had already been done. We had already done that, it had been previously approved. We're just gonna dust those plans off, resubmit do the submittal paperwork back into the agency. Once that's blessed, and the city then contracts to get the work done, then the quality assurance work, which is the center item in this proposal, would be our engineering technicians doing the observation during construction, doing the proper documentation of that construction, putting together a final package that then gets submitted to Illinois EPA for final approval, so that this then becomes part of the permit.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Mayor,
Alderman Busker.
from what I'm understanding, that we're being proactive. If we don't do this, it could cost us quite a bit more money if the government tells us to do it. So with that, I make a motion. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made by Alderman Busker, seconded by Alderman Misick for the approval as so stated. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Ross.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Misick.
Aye.
And Berberay.
Aye.
The motion passes 6-0.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'll move on to department head reports. Finance.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing to report that I already talked about earlier this evening.
All right, thank you very much. Community development.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to give a quick update on the Adopt a Street program, that was recently adopted by the city. We've already accepted 4 applications for that, and 5th and 6th organizations are working on their applications. So far, we've seen everything from really busy streets, like one group's doing West Avenue from Empire to Galena, another one's doing Galena from West Avenue down to Crestwood. And there's also a group on Winneshack that's decided to adopt all of Winneshack, which is wonderful. So just wanted to let you know about the interest we've been seeing in this program so far.
And you say these are organizations or just individuals that are coming forward?
The group on Winneshack is kind of an informal group of residents there, but, there's been service clubs, and also, we've had private businesses wanting to do it, their management and employees is something to do, and also some other taxing bodies as well have been potentially interested.
Nice, thank you. And Public Works.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. After the snow we received the last few days, our crews are going to be working on clearing up downtown for the Arctic Gale Walk.
Thank you. In fact, I had a business contact me the other day and appreciated how the downtown was looking, so thank you for that.
I'll let them know.
And Fire Department.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Last week, Tuesday, we had a house explosion on Prentice. The investigation is, I believe, complete. There was an accidental ignition of liquid propane gas in a furnace. The home was being heated with 100-pound liquid propane cylinders and not through our typical NICOR gas supply. The home is going to end up being condemned. It's damaged beyond repair, so we'll be working with community development to make that happen. I worked with the Salvation Army last week to do some training with some of their volunteers on deployments and notification systems. Starting to work with COAD on putting together some pre-incident planning if we were to experience some spring floods, knock on wood, hopefully we don't. And then also the fire department held its hosted its third mobile RX food pantry at the fire station last week, so a lot of good things going on there. We have this week we did blood pressure clinic at Willow Glen, and that's all I have to report this evening.
Okay, thank you. Police.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to remind everybody that on the 29th at 1 p.m., we will be offered a chance of a redemption against the fire department at the Battle of the Badges. I believe we'll come out victorious since we just came up a little bit short at the bell ringing. So 1 o'clock, Act 1, if everybody comes out, any proceeds will go to a good cause.
So you're hoping it's your turn?
It will be.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
just to point out, they are taller than we are. I mean, we got water, you know, that's about all we've got. And I understand there might be some practice going on, so the competition's gonna have to heat up here pretty soon.
Taller, younger, faster. All right, good competition, thank you. Water and sewer
Yes, Madam Mayor, nothing tonight.
and IT. And library.
Hello, we started our American History Lecture Series last week. We had our first one and we had 78 people come, so that was pretty good. So I'll plug in the next two. We have one on Thursday at 6 p.m. and it's about the Great Plains. So it's going to be exciting. And then on Tuesday next week, also at 6:30, is the main line of model railroading, a short history of the Lionel trains. So I feel like that one's going to be very popular. And then the library is also a trolley stop on the Arctic Ale Walk this weekend. And you can come on down and do a craft and get some nice hot coffee from the cafe. Thank you.
Thank you. And Director Hines. Okay, then I guess that leaves Manager Crowe. You're next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just one thing for the council. On the 2nd of March, we are going to have a committee of the whole, financial committee of the whole, starting at 5 p.m. That is, we're going to have representatives from Baird, Lautenbacher and Lehman, and Spare Financial to discuss the bond for fire and police pension. I do have some additional paperwork which I will be pushing out to you. We received today from Baird some additional proposals from them, but we'll be going through in detail. This is going to be the only topic on the financial. So you have a committee, the regular council meetings at 6. You have the committee, the financial committee of the whole, at 5 prior to the council meeting, and that's all I've got, Mayor.
Okay, I just have a couple of things just to piggyback on library's comment about the Arctic Ale. That is this Saturday from noon till 4. And there are actually 30 businesses that are participating. So I'm looking for a high volume of people coming into the downtown and enjoy all kinds of art displays, from painting, photography, handcrafting things, music, and then of course the trolley ride. So if it is, I think the weather's supposed to be good, but if it's a little chilly for you, you can always jump on the trolley. And then also just wanted to give a little shout out to the United Way and the GFP for their, in honor of leap year, they are challenging the community with what do you do with the one year, and so they are challenging for a spread of something good, and they gave a list of suggestions that you could do on your one extra day of the year. Would be possibly donating something to the food pantry, or visiting someone at the hospital, writing a thank you card, or maybe even leaving a greater tip to your server that day. And then I'm sure that community development wouldn't mind if somebody were to say maybe neighbor's sidewalk. So always ideas that can be had for helping out someone special on that day. So that leaves us with council announcements and Alderman Ross.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Alderman Parker.
Nothing at this time.
And Alderman Busker.
Nothing this evening.
Alderman Brashaw.
Just one little minor thing. Happy birthday, Director Ashley Huffines. That's it.
Thank you for remembering that. I forgot that. And Director Mysick. Director, Alderman.
Absolutely. We have a Neighborhood Watch on Wednesday, February 26th at 6:30, Central Fire. Thank you.
And Alderman Berbere.
Nothing to report.
So that leaves us with public comments. Tommy?
Happy birthday, Ashley Hine. And Joey Miller, you did a good job doing the city. I see
Thank
you on the radio all the time.
Well, thank you, Tommy.
And you do a good job on you and Bo do a good job on the radio.
Thank you.
And Matt Summer, you're gonna miss Bené's dinner tomorrow.
I will.
We're going to the Pizza Hut.
That's what you told me. I hope you have a good time.
Are there any other public comments? Then we will move on to item number 22, which is executive session. Madam Clerk, could you please read this?
Pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or a volunteer of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. Pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. Thirdly, pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C11, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the findings shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
Thank you. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion made by Alderman Busker, seconded by Alderman Misick. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Ross.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Misick.
Aye.
Berbere.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.